Okay, so I want to thank everybody who's here to show Hakara Satov to Sara Chana. And I want to thank Sara Chana for coming on, taking what she does and sharing it with us to help us through these difficult times. Sara Chana is a master herbalist, classical homeopath. She is the mom of 7. She does TV shows across the US, teaching about herbs, and the author of the book Moodtopia. And I was privileged many years ago, before COVID, I think it was, to hear her live when up in Sferia, when there was an herbal conference. And that's when I first had the privilege of meeting Sara Chana. So on that, I'm going to take myself off. Thank you so much, Sara Chana. I'm going to make you co-host so that you can share. Sara Chana, you have to unmute.
Yes. I didn't want
Okay, one second. I'm going to make you co-host. 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead. We're so privileged. Thank you so much for doing this and caring so much and coming on and doing this for us.
Let me go ahead and just put the slideshow to the beginning. And sorry, I muted myself because when you were all saying Tehillim, like I was sobbing and smearing my mascara. So I pulled myself around. So first of all, Naomi, I want to thank you for inviting me. Ladies, those that are staying now, thank you for joining me. And I'm sitting here in New York where it's not a great or safe place anymore. And I really wasn't sure how I could contribute the way I needed to. And I finally put together this PowerPoint, and Baruch Hashem, I've been giving this to women's groups across the world. So here's the bottom line. Are herbs and homeopathy going to make bad people become good? No. Is herbal medicine going to change the reality of what's going on? No. Can herbal medicine bring world peace? Maybe, but not today. So why am I taking everybody's time to teach them about homeopathic and botanical medicine? Because this is the problem that we're having right now. The problem is that the terror and fear that we're experiencing, even if we know we're going to be strong and we're going to make it through this, it doesn't mean that 2 months from now, we're not going to have an ulcer. God forbid. It doesn't mean that our blood pressure is not going to go up. So my hope with this lecture today, that I'm going to go through as quickly as possible, will give us the tools to really stay physically strong so that we can help people around us. Because if we have a stomach ache from indigestion, we're not going to go do Bikur Cholim. So the whole goal is that during times of stress, anxiety, terror, fear, we can stay as strong as we can emotionally and physically, so we can do our part, even if it's just to show up and say Tehillim, not even if it's just, to also show up and be able to say Tehillim. And at the end of this, I have a wonderful herbalist. He's an Israeli who lives in Israel, and he's the same kind of training as I do. And he has herbs that if anybody wants to start taking them in their lives, and he's going to talk about a special program which he's designed to bring herbs to the soldiers on the front line to stay calm, help them sleep. And I'm so excited that he's here today. So as I said before, can herbs and homeopathy help us in times of fear and terror? The answer is yes. So what happens when our brains get scared? We have fear. As soon as we recognize fear, your amygdala, the small organ in the middle of your brain, goes to work, or I'm going to say goes crazy. It alerts your nervous system, which sets your body's fear response in motion. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are released. In our bodies, we get this fight or flight response, which helps us run, get to the shelter that we need to immediately. But then it's very hard for our bodies to calm down. We start schwitzing, our blood pressure goes up, and a lot of physiological changes happen in our body. So Dr. Robert Sapolsky, a Yid, of course, who received the Genius Award, and I do believe he is a genius, wrote a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. And his research on stress is one of the best I've seen. So I'm going to read some of his quotes. During sustained stress, the amygdala processes emotional sensory information more rapidly and less accurately. That means when we're stressed, we may not be hearing the messages, hearing our loved ones, or even breaking down the news properly. It disrupts the hippocampal function and the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is helping us understand what's going on. The hippocampus helps us remember. This gets messed up when we're in stress. We become more fearful, our thinking becomes muddled, and we access poor risk assessment and act impulsively. So we have to share with our youth in Israel and around the world with all these terrible rallies that are going on, at least in the US. We don't want our youth, our Jewish youth, to respond inappropriately. It's too dangerous. What happens when children observe violence, warfare, gang murder, and school massacre and pogroms? For weeks afterwards, there is impaired concentration and impulse control. That means we really need to help our youth and us handle this. Consistent with that, violent criminals are more likely than nonviolent ones to have witnessed violence as kids. So this is a tragic, tragic fact that all these people that are causing this kind of murder and rape saw violence as a kid, which just makes it easier for them to be able to be violent. Those of us that didn't raise our children with violence, those of us that didn't experience violence, it's just harder for us to be violent. When our brain is sad, we get increased activity in the right occipital lobe, the left insula, the left thalamus, the amygdala, and hippocampus. The hippocampus is strongly linked with memory, and it makes sense and awareness of these memories that are sad. So what happens to our brains is that if I'm drinking my cup of tea and I hear that there was a bad incident, when I go to pick up this tea, even months later, my brain will associate it. If I was biting on this pen because I was nervous and I heard of a tragedy, when I go to bite my pen again, which is a habit I don't have, but I have other ones, then I will remember the connection and my brain will be associated to that sad memory. So the reason I'm talking about the brain now is that we that have survived this massacre, we that are fundraising and trying to bring peace to this crazy world, we have to make sure that we keep our brains as focused as possible. What happens when we're depressed? Ongoing depression causes long-term changes to the brain. Research shows that we have less gray matter in our brain, even when we recover from our depression. Brain after trauma, the three parts of the brain that are affected is the amygdala, the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex. We've already discussed these parts of the brain. And we get triggered for months and even years later. So here's where I want to start our discussion. Excuse me. Emotional trauma sends chemical responses in our body. So when we're in a calm meditative state, the chemicals are different than when we're in a stress state. We have cortisol and adrenaline, which I brought up in the beginning. And even though those are great chemicals in our body during stress, sorry, ladies, it's not great for us to have it ongoing. And for those of you that are living in Israel, it's a constant stress of adrenaline and cortisol. And even there was an attack yesterday in Los Angeles. No one was hurt, but it's a block away from my son. So here I am in safe America, already going to bed, being fearful like everyone else. Stress in your bladder. Studies show there is a large correlation between stress and the activity of your bladder. Adults with higher stress levels report more frequent trips to the bathroom. So the point I'm making is it's not only in our brain, it goes everywhere in our body. Digestion after trauma. Stress causes a decrease in blood flow and oxygen to our stomach. That's why it's more difficult to digest food. We can have cramping, gas, inflammation. And long-term trauma also, it gets an imbalance to the gut flora. These are the things we as survivors do not want to experience. So homeopathy can help. I'm going to go through these homeopathic remedies quite quickly due to time restraints. But homeopathy is these little ballies that you place under your tongue. Sometimes you just open the cap and pour them into the cap. And Naomi, there are some homeopathic pharmacies in Israel. I did not put links to them. And or you can get this homeopathic remedy where you twist the ballies into the cap. With homeopathy, you place the ballies from the cap under your tongue, let it dissolve, no eating or drinking 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after. And we can go on and on for hours. I have a group of women called Mootopia Academy. We meet twice a month on Zoom. I also have students from all over the world, and I have many classes on homeopathy. This is just introducing you to it. So when you're taking the remedy, sometimes you'll need it daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, depending on where you're at emotionally. So aconite is one of the most important remedies for shock, trauma. You have paralyzing fear, heart palpitations. You can have a sensation of prickling or tingling. This is if you see a rocket almost hit you, but Baruch Hashem doesn't. This is if you see a tragedy. Everyone around the world should have aconite in the house. It can prevent the secondary and the third bodily reactions that we have. You're jolted by sudden shock. Aconite, it's from a plant. Arnica, which we all know about. Everyone should have arnica in their house. Homeopathy is inexpensive. If you fall, bump, bruise yourself, break a bone, need stitches, arnica is very important. It can help your body recover quicker. It's also a plant, and it also helps with emotional pain. If you have this low, dull, emotional pain that's not going away, that's when arnica can be beneficial. Aconite is fear, trauma. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just saw that. And arnica is like, I can't get this out of my body or brain. Arsenicum is an important remedy. These are for people that have a propensity towards panic attacks. Arsenicum is a mineral. People that bite their nails, sip cold water, not because they have a tickle in their throat. They're nervous. There are going to be kids that are repeating, how do you know we're okay? How do we know you're okay? Kids that get in a car and they're always on the alert. Very, very suspicious, very nervous all the time. Arsenicum. Ignatia is another remedy I feel everybody should have in their house right now. This is grief, pain, suffering, and crying. I mean, who isn't? This is that anguish that you can't get over in your body. Aconite is, oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that clip. Whereas Ignatia is like, I cannot brush my teeth because I'm sobbing. So anybody that's living through this should have Ignatia, which is also a plant. Phosphoric acid may be good for our elderly, people that have trouble moving during emotional grief. They're just sitting there on the couch. I want to help, but I can't. I need to make dinner, but I can't. They're exhausted. They tend to be more of a silent grief. Ignatia, and this is also a mineral, Ignatia is more sobbing, crying, calling their friends. And phosphoric acid is, that's what phosphoric acid is. They cannot move. Nat phos is when you have indigestion, you've got reflux, heartburn, gas, bloating from fear. Nat phos, you take at a low dose like a 6C. All these other doses we can take at a 30C. Nat phos is more just that indigestion you're going to get with fear and trauma. Nat Mur are people who are anal retentive, hold things in, not really saying what's going on. They're easily hurt, easily offended. These are our friends and loved ones that are going to say, do you remember 3 weeks ago on a Tuesday when you said you didn't like my dress? And you're going to say no. And they're going to have held this in pain inside. Phosphorus are those kids and adults that are very, very bubbly. Phosphorus is also a mineral. They're bubbly. They come in the room at a Shabbos meal and they light it up. Part of the problems with phosphorus people and children are they believe what anybody says. This is a lot going on in America. Oh, okay. I'm pro-Palestinian. Okay. They don't even know the facts. They haven't even researched it. Phosphorus people can just go with the flow. So if you know any children that are just too easily influenced, a dose of phosphorus may be helpful for them. Now, Staphylococcus aureus is another homeopathic remedy made from a plant that I feel everyone should have in their house right now. It's for anger, anger, anger. For anger, for people that are angry and discuss it, and people that are angry that hold it in. When you're about to blow your top, sorry, you're at a point ready to explode. That is Staphylococcus aureus, and who's not? So a lot of people that are calling me, we're taking Staphylococcus aureus in the morning and Ignatia before you go to sleep, because we're angry and sad. Angry and sad. Although everybody's an individual with homeopathy, there's something called constitutional care for another time in another lecture, but I feel most of us are in a Staphylococcus aureus and Ignatia state. So that's homeopathy, the little ball leaves that you put under your tongue. I'd like to go into herbal medicine. It says in Tehillim that Hashem gave grass for the cattle and herbs for the service of man. The word there is service. Herbs are here for us. It also says that Hashem put the refuah in the world before the illness, and he put plants and trees in the world before he made humans. So I've seen over the past 30 years, I don't want to age myself, but I have been an international board certified lactation consultant where I helped over 45,000 Jewish babies breastfeed. As a doula, I helped deliver over 460 babies. And during all this time of helping moms and babies, I was so excited to be able to share with them homeopathy and herbal medicine. So herbs you can take in tea, tincture, powder, sprays, capsules. Nir Avram, who I'm going to introduce in a moment or two, does have some sprays that are very convenient to spray under your tongue, on your tongue when you're going through stress. So herbs to the rescue. To the left is tea form. You can, for very little money, buy a cute little teapot like this with a filter, and herbs in bulk are very inexpensive. You can get them in the shuk, and it's easy to keep this on your desk, on your table, in your kitchen with some healing herbs. And to the right are tinctures. You can get herbs in capsules, but herbs in capsules are not as effective as tinctures or teas. They can have a very long shelf life, and they're harder to break down and get into your bloodstream. I'm a tincture lady. I carry tinctures wherever I go. There's 2 ingredients in tinctures. You take a plant from Hashem, whether it's a root, a stem, a leaf, or a flower. You pour grain alcohol over it. You let it sit for 6 to 8 weeks. You strain it and you have a tincture. And those of us that are living through stressful times, you can take your tincture, keep it in your bra. It's always ready for you whenever you need it. And or you can keep it in your backpack or on your desk at work. So let's begin with ashwagandha, which grows all over Israel. When I was speaking at the International Herbal Conference in Israel, like I could not believe that ashwagandha was growing. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen it growing on the streets in New York. Ashwagandha is an herb. It's considered an adaptogen, meaning it'll go to where your body needs it. It helps with stress. It's specifically helpful for hypothyroid. It's calming. It lowers blood pressure. It enhances focus and mental stamina. Who doesn't need that? California poppy is an amazing herb. It's available for those of you that are in Israel or in the States. It helps you go to sleep. It's been used for generations. When you're lying there in bed and it's hard to sleep, California poppy is helpful. Now, if you're going to take an herb to help you go to sleep, you can't take the herb at 5 to 1 and knowing that you need to be asleep by 1:02 because you're waking up at 6 in the morning. That's not how herbs work. If you have trouble sleeping, I suggest you take some California poppy after dinner, an hour before you go to sleep. You can dose it again right before you go to sleep, and you can keep right by your bed a shot glass like this where you have the herb and a little grape juice, and keep it right by your bed. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can just down it like vodka. When you take herbs in a tincture, I like you to dilute it in a little grape juice or apple juice. You can take your herbs in water. Herbs are quite bitter if you can handle that bitter taste. And again, Neer has some in sprays. Chamomile. I mean, who doesn't love chamomile? We all love chamomile. Chamomile tea is delicious. I do want to say that if you have a ragweed allergy, not that you have spring or fall allergies, but specifically ragweed, chamomile is in the ragweed family. It helps with indigestion. Also insomnia, a good cup of chamomile tea or chamomile in tincture. It helps with muscle pain. It reduces anxiety, mental fatigue, muscle cramping, and it's overall calming. Fennel, back to digestion. If you are not digesting your food well, you're not going to have the vitamins and minerals to keep your muscles strong so you can run to a bomb shelter, so you can help someone, so you can bring food to the soldiers. So fennel is very helpful. Some people like to take it before their meal. They put just a couple drops on their tongue before they eat. And if you forget, you can always take it after. Now, it's interesting because the research shows that it's a brain booster, cognitive enhancer, and antidepressant. I don't feel this herb specifically goes to the brain. What I feel this herb does is help you digest those foods to give your brain the koyach that it needs to say Tehillim, daven properly. Kava kava is not allowed in Israel, for my knowledge, but it is in the States and around the world. This also helps you sleep and is especially helpful for muscle tension. I'm a kava girl. I walk around tense. My body's in pain. My muscles in pain. My neck's in pain. So kava can help you relax your shoulders, relax your muscles, and help you go to sleep. Lavender, we all know about lavender essential oil. You can take the essential oil neat, that means without diluting it, put a couple drops on your hand, inhale it. If your kids are having trouble going to sleep, you can put a couple drops directly on their pillowcase. Even adults, elderly, you can use lavender oil. It's not going to put you to sleep, but it can help calm the central nervous system. I like it best in tea form or tincture form. Lavender helps with stuck sadness. That sadness is like, I lost my job 3 years ago. I know I should not be upset, but I really can't get over it. Or my relationship fell apart and I really feel like I want to be close with my ex. Whatever stuck sadness you have, if you have trouble sleeping, anxiety, depression, and I know Neer has some combinations with lavender in it. Lemon balm is an herb every single one of us can grow on our porches, our backyards. Everywhere it's available. It's in the mint family. You can give it to children. This does not interact with any other medications. What I like about it is that it's antiviral. So lemon balm, besides being soothing and calming and gentle, is antiviral, which is helpful because when we're stressed, we're more vulnerable to all the viruses and bacteria around us. Motherwort is for hormonal gloominess. You can take it before your cycle, during your cycle, and after your cycle. And you can take it through menopause. And you can give it to all those hormonal teens from the age of 10 up. This is one of my favorite herbs for stress, anxiety, and when you feel a black cloud around you. Passion flower grows all over Eretz Yisrael. It's beautiful. I love walking down the street and just seeing passion flower. It's in front of Israelis' homes. They don't even know what it's for. It helps your brain stop cycling and cycling and cycling. Why did this happen? Why did I do this? Why did I yell at my kid? You lay in bed and you can't stop the cycle of thinking. Can you mix this with California poppy? Of course you can. You can take this when you're pregnant. You can take this when you're breastfeeding. It's not contraindicated with other medications. Passion flower is something I think everybody needs right now. If you take it before you go to bed, it will help you sleep. A lot of people take this during the day because it's not a sedative, it's a soother. Let's use the word soothing. Rose, oh my gosh, all rose petals are edible. I wouldn't use the roses that you get from a florist. Rose is one of the most important flower-based medicines that we have. It's for broken hearts, sadness, and crying. We know that when someone's in the hospital, we bring them roses, but most importantly for those caregivers, the roses, the rose tea, the rose tincture can help repair our heart and the tissue in our heart and help with that sadness. Skullcap is an herb for anxiety and stress. I, Sara Chana, live on skullcap, true confessions. I'm not anxious that it debilitates me. I just, as an herbalist and a lactation consultant, want to help everybody all the time. I'm on airplanes. One of my flights from Israel to the States, the woman next to me was having a panic attack. I spent 3 hours trying to help her get over it. So I'm always in this nervous state. Skullcap, you can take it 2 times a day, 3 times a day. It helps with that anxiousness in your stomach, the anxiousness in your brain, the tension in your body. So you all should be saying, well, Sara Chana, I have a broken heart. My brain doesn't stop cycling. I'm sad, nervous, and gloomy. So the answer is, can you mix 4 or 5 herbs together? Of course you can. So when people come into my office, I'll give them an herbal blend with at least 3 to 8 herbs in it. We have from the company in Israel also blends, and you can ask and email what are the different blends that are available. Valerian, I think most of us have heard about valerian. Valerian is one of the top herbs used in Russia. It's been used by our Russian bubbies for generation. People that love it say it's calming and soothing. It also is not necessarily a sedative, although people do use it to go to sleep. People that don't like this herb say that it smells like dirty socks. people that love this herb say it's one of the best smells they've ever had. So valerian is one of those herbs you either love or hate. All the other herbs don't have this kind of effect. This herb is a little similar to cilantro. Certain people want cilantro in all of their food. Other people never want cilantro. That's the same with valerian, which is very interesting. So Nir, I just see you pop out. So I would like to thank you, Naomi, for allowing me. Nir has the first licensed herbal pharmacy in Israel. And Naomi, I'd just like him to speak a moment because I think the work he's doing in Israel is just spectacular. So Nir, if you can take a moment or two and share with everybody what you're doing, I'd appreciate that.
Hi, and thank you, everybody. And I was in the beginning of the prayers. It was really heart touching, and thank you for the support. And again, enjoying Sarah Chana, and she invited me. We know each other from a few years ago, from the first Roots. How do you call it? Roots
Conference.
Right. So, Root conference in Israel, taking place at 2019. Anyway, I own a herbal medicine pharmacy from 7 years ago. We are located in Arad. We are an official pharmacy. We are dealing with about 600 different herbs. All of Sarah Chana's herbs that she talked about, some of them I placed
Nir
in the
Avraham, one second. Nir Avraham, I'm just going to ask Sarah Chana maybe to take off her screen so we can see you bigger. Sarah Chana,
Okay.
can you unshare so Nir can be seen?
Let me see how I can do that. Hold on. I have
just
more
unshare your screen. Can you unshare your screen?
Okay, got it. Let me see if I can unshare it. I don't see. Let me see how I can.
I wonder if I take you off as the co-host. Maybe that will do it.
Okay, sorry, guys.
There you
okay,
go. There you go. Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, great. So the pharmacy is an official pharmacy. We deal only with herbs, and we make all of the herbs that Sarah Chana mentioned. We have them. I posted in the chat box some links to them. There are many others. So and we are happy also to try to support civilians, soldiers. So we made also 3 types of packages: one for children's, one for adults, and one for soldiers. And we made especially for the US fellowships, citizens that want to support us. We made also a page. I also posted it upstairs in the chat box. And there you can buy. Actually, we cannot get donation, so you need to buy it, but we subsidize. We gave a nice discount, so we are also taking a part of it, of course. And by buying it, we will deliver it. There are all around Israel, there are places where refugees, survivors were placed, also where I live, in my place where I live. So there are people that donate, buy these packages, and then we deliver them to the people that need them. And also we have a special package for soldiers. It contains 2 different salves, one for burns or cuts or stuff that everybody needs in the field. The other one is for pain in the muscle, and the last one is a spray to the throat, disinfecting. Winter slowly is coming. So you're welcome to look at this page, and the buying and donation is through a link that will you will write how many packages you want to buy, each from 1 or whatever, and then we will send you an email with a PayPal connection about the amount that each package costs. But anyway, you can also, if you're an Israeli one in this meeting, so you can go directly into the site of the pharmacy. The pharmacy, most of the activity is like prescribed personal remedies for a person, but also we have a shop with a variety of stuff, and we also placed a coupon. I wrote it up there. It's called Sara, 10. So it gives you also a 10% off whatever you buy in the shop. Also, if you're in Israel, again, we can also consult you. I will write down the number of the pharmacy. Also, you can find us in Trifolium Pharmacy, or in Hebrew, Bet Merkachat Trifolium. So we have a website, of course, and we can help you to decide which type of remedy will be helpful to you, because there are a big variety. But valerian, passion flower, California poppy, these are the most, as Sarah Hannah mentioned, these are the most used for now, for these days. Ashwagandha also, of course, we have a remedy. So you can look in the website, or look up in the chat box. I posted some, most of the important ones. So again,
Nir, can you this recording is then sent out to thousands of people afterwards. So some of them aren't on the call and they don't see what you've put in the chat. Can you give the exact link now? Can you say the link, Nir, so for people to donate for things that you're making for the soldiers, so that when they hear it on the recording, that they can they know how to do it, or whatever it is. And if you can do that, or just say, that where they can go to, or something like that. And interestingly enough, Nir, I know that there's been in the community, in the community health WhatsApp group, or whatever it is, I know people have been asking, and some of the other groups they've been asking how they can give packages of healing sort of things for the soldiers. So it's really great to hear what you're doing, because I know that there is a need for it. So I actually have you in my WhatsApp. I don't know why. So I'm going to WhatsApp you and get the information, and then send it out to the different groups that I have been part of that have asked for it.
Great. It's a very nice, and we already have dozens of people from Israel that donated them, and then we deliver it to the centers. I mean, we deliver it to the centers of where the soldiers are posted, and through their officers. It will be, even one package for one soldier, he can also share it with 10 other soldiers. So we try to spread them as more. But the site is it's Trifolium, which is Trifolium. It's TRI and then folium. I mean, with one word, Trifolium, FOLIUM. So TRIFOLIUM.co.il. So this is the general Trifolium Pharmacy website. But if you want to go directly to the Donate in English page that we made, especially for English speakers, so it will be trifolium.co.il, and then /donate, and then spacebar, and not a spacebar, how do you call it? A dash, or I don't know.
Dash.
Dash, I hope, like a middle, like a minus.
Dash.
No, that it's like a minus. How do you call it in English?
This way? Is it? Does it go?
No, underscore.
Right. Okay.
Underscore.
Okay. Underscore. Okay. Thank you.
No, I'm not sure that it's an under. It's a straight.
I think it's a straight dash. You can just look at the dash, and so we know how to do it.
And then it will be.
We don't hear you. You went on mute.
Naomi, I want to say 1 second, please, Naomi. I have a handout for we can give them. I already pre-made a handout with all his information.
Okay,
so I'm going to give you the link to send. I'm going to give you the link to send to your WhatsApp groups.
Right, but
and anybody.
Groups, but it's not just the WhatsApp groups, because when it goes on the YouTube channel, it could be shared all over the place.
Sure.
So I want people to be able to have the access, so that if they can donate, if they want to donate to this, that they can donate, and they know where it is. So So I'm
And
really appreciative.
when I do send out to you, Naomi, in the end, if anybody
Amazing.
out there can share it on all your different WhatsApp groups, I
Right.
just felt, Naomi and everybody, this was a different way to support our soldiers. I mean,
Right.
they need boots, they need
Right.
watches, they need night goggles. No question, it's not taking away from that, but to heal these poor boys from the trauma.
Right.
That's why I was so excited to bring Nir on. And he just got a link for those of us in the States, because I tried to donate and wasn't able to because I don't have an Israeli bank, but now he has a PayPal link. So I think this is just a great way to support all of us right now.
Right. I agree. I agree. And also, I just want to tell people that that you do classes. I will share a link with everybody that you have ongoing classes, that you really dedicate your life to this.
Can I finish my PowerPoint? I have like 3 more slides. Do you not enough time?
3 more slides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Just let me finish very quickly, because I have a couple other interesting things just for people that are out there. Just if you can let me share for just 1 more second.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's try to do this quickly, because we still have
You disabled me. Okay,
yeah, I apologize.
That's okay.
Sorry,
1 more second.
I'm gonna able you again.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because I want to conclude.
And Nir, I just want to tell you, amazing what you're doing. Amazing. Kol hakavod to you. Really, the creativity and the chokhmah of Israelis is astounding. And the things that it's just amazing. So thank you for doing this. And thank you for doing this for our soldiers. And thank you for doing this for Am Yisrael. And I'm going to share everything. And I look forward to using your pharmacy. So thank you, Nir.
Okay.
And I'm just going to put, one second, I'm going to make you, give me a second.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to make you co-host and go ahead. And then we're just going to finish up with the last affirmation, the next affirmation we're going to do for the Yanuka. Go ahead.
So I just wanted everybody to know about Nir Avram. I also have a woman in the States and Israel that makes pure essential oils. A lot of our essential oils are made in factories. She's an Israeli woman that lives both in Israel and the States. I have another woman named Esther. For those people that want skincare, there's no additives. This is really not a PR campaign. This is just, I feel people don't know what's available out there.
Right.
Esther is a frum woman in her little lab. She makes things that also help with inflamed skin. This is
we couldn't see the number. Your picture is in front of the number.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Could you say her WhatsApp number out loud?
Sure. It's 972-544-977078. She's giving a discount to Israelis. You can send it to your young girls that are on the front line. Let them, I'm going to cry, have a little bit of rose or frankincense that they can just put on their hands when they're out there protecting us. This is for the States. Herbalist and Alchemist has also given us a discount. This is another farm where we can get bulk herbs in America. So I reached out to all these people to help us all during these times of stress. So just to conclude, we can all be superheroes. You need to protect your brain, find a homeopathic remedy, include herbs into your life, add spices to your food, force yourself to laugh, jump on a trampoline, breathe, remember to breathe, smile. And one of my most important messages is giving tzedakah and doing random acts of kindness. We need to just, especially those of us that are in the States, of course, in Israel, just do random acts of kindness, because that can give good energy. And you never know, Naomi, what the other person is going through. Right. And we don't have that. So Naomi's going to send everybody. But here, the reason I wanted it up is I made a handout for all of us. You can either go to support@sarachana.com, or you can use sarahana.com/free training. And I will give you a link that has all the discounts, and it is a synopsis of what I discussed today. You can print it, put it on your refrigerator, print it, keep it on your laptop. I just gave so much information in such a short period of time. I also am giving a link to this lecture that I did in another place if they want to listen to it again. And we're going to send you the PowerPoint. So if you go to support@sarahana.com, you'll get all this information so you can hear it slowly. That's all I wanted to share, Naomi, and I'm done. Thank you so much.
I got to tell you, Sarahana, thank you. You're amazing. You're just amazing.
Thank you so much, Naomi.
No, really, you're
Thank
just
you.
so amazing. Like,
And I'm Yisrael Chai.
yeah, you're
sharing
to everyone. And your love is just, it just pours out of you. It's just like amazing, like really amazing. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
So I will
grateful,
thank
Naomi.
you. Thank you so much for coming on today and doing this for us. We're just going to finish off by doing the last thing of the Yanuka. I'm just going to take us off of live stream.